Christian, over to you.
So hello everyone. Again, we apologize for the glitch. The first thing to understand in terms of like SMS marketing and that how the platform or the channel can help you achieve your desired ROI. In this case, triple, double, basic, depends on whatever goal you have, is the fact that you have to shift your mindset from treating it as a communication tool. Of course, it's a communication tool, but shifting it to ensure, or shifting it to the fact that it is now a strategic tool for you. Just like every other channel, they are also communication tool, but the most important thing as a business person, as a product owner, as a marketing professional, is how you can strategically use that tool. And we want to show you how SMS can play, or SMS can play in your strategy. Next. And to ensure that it is strategic, will be tabling your goals. So personally, I will see SMS as one. You are building an apartment, and the things that you need to build up, you need the concrete, you need blocks, you need so many things to make up that apartment. In this case, you have your email, you have your digital, you have your social. SMS is part of that tool that you need in building that apartment. But before you can build, you need to have an architectural design, and that is why we're starting with tabling your goal. But we all talk about goals. We need to set a clear goal before you start a campaign, set a clear goal so that you can measure. But how exactly can you set that goal, and what are the questions that you can ask to ensure that you are setting a clear goal? So to ensure that you're setting a clear goal, you have to consider three basic questions. I've grouped them into three questions. Number one, it is a popular thing. What does success look like to you? But I think something to highlight is in highlighting what success looks like for your business, that could be tied to your increase in sales, making sure that it is very clear. In terms of sales, what does success look like for us? What numbers do we want to hit? In terms of customer engagement, what numbers do we want to hit? In terms of brand recognition, how do we want to be perceived as a brand, as a product, as a business? And the combination of this factor is what will help you define your success benchmark, and which is very, very important in measuring your progress. Without having these clear numbers, these clear pinpoints, these clear combinations, you might not be able to define exactly what success looks like for you. And the second part will be the role the channel is playing in your product strategy. I think that one of the mistakes that any business person or any marketing professional can do is treating a channel separately or just solely. The combination of all your channels and making sure that it is not a standalone equity is what makes it valuable. So for SMS marketing, for email, your digital, of which digital SMS is part of it, email is part of it, your ATL advertising, just seeing all of them as part of the things that make up your strategy, or the channels that, or the tool that will help your product strategy or your marketing strategy come to life or get you the results that you want. So you need to ask yourself, what role in this plan that we have in terms of partnership, in terms of what we want to position this product to be, what role will SMS play in this strategy? What's the broader perspective and all of that? And I think the third one, in answering those questions, the third one that you will get to is asking yourself, how can SMS, I already know the role that SMS will play in this, in terms of sales, in terms of number we want to reach here, SMS can fit into here. In terms of customer engagement, this is what we want to reach, and I think that SMS can fit into that part. So exactly what role will SMS be playing? In terms of, are we going to use for sales? Are we going to be using SMS as more of an awareness channel or an acquisition channel? What role exactly is SMS going to be playing in this plan that we have laid out together, which is very important. But you honestly cannot get there if you don't know your customer journey, which is very important. There's something that I like to say. Number one, your product is useless without target. Your product is useless without people to buy it. If they were not buying it, there was no point having that product or you being in business. So you need to you need to imagine, you need to draft out exactly your customer journey. Is it that SMS is going to be a touch point for lead generation based on our previous campaigns, based on the things that we have done? Have they used certain channels like this as a touch point? Is it going to be a nurturing channel for us? Is it going to be a conversion? Is it going to be a retention channel for us? You need to sit down to have that plan. If there is no proper plan, there is no proper goals, no proper all of these questions have not been answered and laid on the table, your strategy is faulty, your foundation is faulty. You are not basically putting the right things, you're not putting the blocks in the right place. And when you don't put the blocks in the right place, how your architecture has been designed, you're definitely going to get something that you don't like, a defunct house or something. So that's very, very important in tabling your goals. And I think the next part for us in ensuring that your SMS is a strategic tool is the part of feelings. People buy product based on how they feel. It can be from how somebody made the product feel and how they think they will resonate with that feeling. It can be from a place of fear. It can be from a place of excitement. It can be from a place of ambition, aspiration, but nobody buys a product without feeling. Nobody subscribes to anything without how it makes them feel. I will subscribe to a Spotify, for an example, because of how music makes me feel and how the product is making me feel. I will buy certain things because of how it makes me feel. I will buy makeup not because of, oh, makeup is nice. I will buy makeup because of how it makes me feel. At the end of the day, there is a feeling that it leaves you with. It can be a feeling of confidence, whatever it is. And it's important that if your product has to go through, or if your audience, your customers have to feel some type of way before they buy something, it could be feeling of whatever it is, then your messaging cannot just be bland. It has to evoke certain emotions in the mind of your audience. And I'm sure that you might be saying, oh, you have to put this and do this. These are basic things and they are underplayed strategy that you need to put in place. If your messaging doesn't have feelings, then it is just spam. You're throwing out spam, which is very, very important. But you also don't know how exactly to communicate certain feelings to your customer, because SMS have different types. And that's what I'm going to be taking you through in the next slide. Kaiwo, please, the next slide. And I just had to put a short code that understanding your emotions, the emotions you would like your audience to feel, is crucial to crafting effective SMS campaign. But different types of SMS require different emotional approach based on their purpose and context. So when people think of SMS, the common use of SMS is in pushing promotional campaigns. And SMS can do so much more than that. It can be classified into different pockets. Just the same way some of your campaigns are classified into some of your channels that you use, your ATL channel, your digital channel, are classified into different buckets and different things that you want to achieve. SMS can also do the same. And so we have next one, I will show you the three types of SMS, the common type of SMS that we have. You have your campaign SMS, you have your conversational SMS or messaging, and you have your trigger SMS or messaging. For campaign SMS, the next slide, Taiwo, these are more of campaigns that highlight your product, your success story. They are basically thematic campaigns. These are campaigns that have a theme towards it. Maybe you want to push the holistic view of what your brand does for your customer. You can do much more with my products. How my product is going to solve it, whatever. Basically, your thematic promotions. These are campaign messages. And I have snippets of how you can use thematic messaging, campaign messaging. But the most important thing I've done to highlight is the tone of voice each of these SMS should have. And number one, for your campaign messaging, it is more of your brand voice, your brand personnel. How is your brand supposed to speak? Is it in a very professional tone, in a friendly, in a trendy tone? Your campaign messages should have that tone also. It should be authentic, customer centric, and very concise. So I have an example of a campaign message here. This is an example, just a Flockta Wave, an example, trying to push their Flockta business community. But they're not coming from a place of come and sell your business and triple your revenue. Coming from a place of how this product has solved the problem of a certain business owner that sells local food. And you can see how they've been able to, and you can see how the message has been able to, the authenticity of the message, the customer-centric approach of the message, excuse my tongue rambling, the conciseness of the SMS, and also the call to action. So you're not saying, oh, expand your business with Flocta and blah, blah, blah. Secondly, you can see how a tracks and travel agency, for an example, is pushing their discounts, but they are not coming from a place of click to or get 10% discount, order your ticket now. All of that direct approach is more from a thematic point, and maybe Mauritius, Singapore, Morocco is calling at a discount, and you are coming from a place of the emotions of the customer. I want to visit this place to tick, maybe it's in my bucket list. I want to visit the place to just to get a break or something. So you have to put yourself in the mind of your audience to be able to craft content that aligns with your campaign message and all of that. So the second one would be the conversational. Personally, I like conversational message because it is a two-way thing. Communication itself is a two-way thing. One, if you have a partner that is always talking and there is no feedback from you, that is somewhat a toxic relationship. And this is what conversational SMS does for you. It's a two-way thing. Most of the industries that have been able to explore this type of SMS, you find more of telecommunication companies exploring this SMS, but sometimes it's just very rigid and there can be more. You can do so much more than what they currently do with conversational SMS. Conversational SMS is a dialogue, it's interactive. You can get response from your customer. And this time you're not just going to the back end of the platform you're using to check the number of clicks or go to your landing page. You can measure your results. You can measure the outcome because they are actually responding to the message that you have. Conversational SMS can be used for subscriptions. They can be used for survey. You need feedback on what your product is doing, what you should do better, your customers' experience with your product or your business. You can do that with conversational SMS. You need to onboard your customer, and you are finding so many ways to make life easier for them. You can onboard your customers with maybe the platform you currently use, but you can also onboard your customers with SMS. And then you can do your contents you have on social media. You can also bring them to SMS, and there is so much more you can do. But the conversational SMS also have a tone of voice, and if you're going to be pushing out conversational SMS, it must be simple, straight to the point. What do you want to communicate? What exactly do you want them to know? If it's a survey, what do you want? What feedback do you want from them? And all of that. And the second part is it must be concise. In few words, what do you want to achieve? And there must be a clear to action. Stop to do this, press yes to do this, click A, options, you have options, there must be a call to action. And the next one is going to be trigger message, just like the word trigger. But trigger can, I know that e-commerce businesses are doing this, but there's so much more you can also do with trigger message. Send out sign-ups, post-purchase SMS, abandon cart transaction, and so much more. But one of the things I've also realized that you can do with trigger SMS is in terms of your customer journey, just ensuring that you know their journey at every point, and you are sending out post-purchase orders. For an example, let's assume that you visit a skincare website to stock up on your skincare product, and in 2 weeks time, of course, maybe for skincare, you already know when your customers are going to elapse the products that they've ordered from you, and in 2 months or in 1 month time, you are sending them a message to restock. That can be done with SMS, and that is even more personal. With other channels, they are not as personal, as even if you are adding the name, it's just a general message that you can be sending to anybody. And with the other channels, they can be mail flooding. Personally, I segment my mail. I have from primary to social to update to promotional, so my mail is not clouded. So imagine sending emails on post purchase or abandoned carts or celebrational messages to your customer, and it's just lost in promotional or is lost in spam. With SMS, it cannot be lost. because it's directly to them, it's personal to them. You have their phone number. I know how phone numbers are personal to people. So they definitely know that this is personal to them. And this is why SMS is going to always and always have a higher open rate than any other channel. And these are the SMS, type of SMS and SMS that you can explore at different type of your plan and your journey, as a business, as a brand, what you can use, the tone of voice they should have for trigger messages. It should be urgent. There's an urgency to it. It's informative. It's exclusive. It's time sensitive, and there is a call to action. There is a link taking you to a landing page to make that purchase, to make that sign up, to make the subscription, to do the transaction and all. And then the next slide, please. We've spoken about goals, messaging, the emotions that your message might, should evoke, but we also talk about crafting messaging. But a lot of business owner don't know how they should craft that message. So we've done something called a formula for crafting messaging for you. But one thing that you should understand about crafting messaging for SMS, crafting impactful messaging for SMS, is that you rely on the negativity. I'm just going to use the word negativity, or what people think is the problem of SMS to get your results. And a lot of people think that there is something wrong with SMS, and I'm going to show you what they think it is. But that very reason that they have a problem with SMS is the very reason why SMS will always work. And then SMS is going to give you more results than your other channel. Next slide, please. And that exactly is the character limit. For SMS, you have 160 to 500 words. For RCS, you can have over 2,000 words, but we don't advise that you have 2,000 words because that's not going to look well on mobile. So limit it as possible. But that very limit that you have is what is going to give you a compelling narrative. It's what's going to make your messaging creative. There's a precision to it. There's craftsmanship, and then you get the result, which is impactful messaging. But these are not just formula. What's the compelling narrative? Your SMS has a story. When you're crafting your SMS or you're crafting your messaging, even if it's a campaign, it's a conversational message, it's a trigger message, what's the story? What am I trying to say to whoever is reading this? What emotion is this message supposed to evoke? It's supposed to trigger this person to make a quick purchase. Is it supposed to make them love my brand or my product? What exactly is that emotion? And I want them to evoke, and the creativity to that you're going to apply. The precision. How can I say this thing in the most concise and simple way in 160 to 500 character? You are thinking about how tough that is. So basically, you are the copywriter of your business. It is very important. Then in terms of craftsmanship, do I want to use wordplay? What do I want to use in terms of wordings? And you're not just throwing direct words, enjoy this and this and this. That discipline to be able to put all of this formula together, your compelling narrative plus your creativity plus your precision plus your craftsmanship, is what is going to lead you to an impactful messaging. So this is not just craft a compelling message. You have to have all of this formula together. And what exactly is an impactful message? You need to know what exactly this will lead you to. And this is where the next slide. Impactful messaging is not, again, is letting your target see themselves achieving their goal or solving their problem or living their dream through what you offer. That's basically what an impactful messaging is. If you're telling me to get a 10% discount, what can 10% discount do for me? If you're telling me to purchase this product, what can this product do for me? If you're telling me to download an application, what can it do for me? Don't just tell me to download. How does this solve my problem? How can this help me achieve my goal? How can this help me live my dream? That's what an impactful message will do for you. And that's where you can start getting results. If you have this figured out, then you're on your way to triple your ROI and all of that. And that's how you can turn a simple messaging communication to a more strategic communication. All of these that were mentioned obviously takes thinking, obviously takes sitting down to ask questions and understanding your customer, understanding your products, understanding how your product can solve this problem, and understanding how you can effectively communicate that through SMS. And we have some case studies of brands who have been able to do this same thing. And the first one would be Pizza Hut. I particularly like this because it was not your generic, oh, you need to buy a product. The next slide, please. Pizza Hut had 3 goals. Number one, they wanted to offer discounts. They had an event coming up and they wanted to notify people about the event. But in that event, they also wanted to offer store-specific discounts. And at that event, they also wanted people to pick up pizza at that event. What did they do? They created an offer to customers. Simple, pick up large pizza. But how? By texting free pizza to their short code and following like a series of prompts that they give. So they used more of conversational SMS for this. And this way we're saying that SMS can do so much, or conversational SMS can do more than just getting feedback. And what did they get? What was the result that they got? And you can see how they were able to complement SMS with their other platform, SMS with their social media. So they took this to their social media, advertised it on social media, and the result that it went, the the social media campaign went viral. Secondly, they got results because people sent in those codes. They had over 100 codes that were used in 12 hours. The company also had over 160 prompting and all of that. And that's because they saw SMS beyond just a communication tool. It was more of a strategic tool for them and all of that. In terms of the messaging, it was short, it was precise. They stuck to the tone of voice of what conversational message should do for them and all of that. But the most interesting thing was the result. They got email addresses. They were able to build their SMS and their email list. So it was a total package for them, but only because they saw this as a strategic tool for them and not just a communication tool. They knew that this was going to help them get more followers on social media. This was going to help them get more emailing lists, more addresses and all of that. And also they've been able to build that engagement, that interaction and brand loyalty with their customer, which is very important. And then obviously their event went well. The second one was also a Nigerian brand, Collect Africa. The next slide, please. Connect Africa came into Nigeria. The next slide, Taiwo. Collect Africa came into Nigeria. They wanted to offer POS channels and POS collection.
Okay, amazing. Thank you, Christiana. It was very insightful. I hope we learned some few things. For me particularly is the formula that she gave. Like I can look at this over and over again around how to craft your messaging. And this formula sort of allows you to, in 160 to 200 characters, craft a message that is compelling and creates the kind of impact that you need. Thank you, Christiana, for sharing your thoughts around the experience and the case study. We apologize again for the glitch, connection glitch. But I would just quickly, in 10 minutes, see how we can do this because of our time, how to use SMS to acquire customers and see how we can. So typically, different brands, different contexts have acquisition goals. And it varies from different industry to industry. We've just been able to capture a few around what the acquisition goals look like. So digital finance is the app install, but one thing that is common and what brands are sort of pushing and looking out for beyond app install is to push to say, my acquisition goal doesn't stop at sign up. It really stops at when the customer does the first transaction, first stream, first purchase, first booking, from different contexts, first ride, so brands are beginning to push the lever of acquisition, the acquisition goal beyond just a customer, registering. But one of the things that we think would work, and we see brands and some of the what I call the mistake brands make is sort of skipping a layer, but we wanted to reimagine, the typical marketing funnel is like awareness, consideration, acquisition, activation. It sort of goes, we can extend it based on how you see your funnel. But we see like at the top of the funnel, which is like at the awareness campaign, a lot of brands, like we're recommending that brands begin to think around an opt-in strategy, because what that does is that it sort of helps you create what I call an engaged audience. Now, even if you have sign-up users, I remember like working with a brand, and they had over 100,000 installs, right? And within that install on their mobile app, they had to like fully registered customers who have really registered about 95,000 thereabout. Now, what we found out that the active customers were about say 11,000, right? So what that means is that you have signed up users, but they are not engaged. Now, what the opt-in layer allows you to do is that whether they are signed up users or not signed up users, you have a set of users who are called the engaged users. So what you want to do is improve the quality of your data and get a level of consent. When you get contact of customers, opting in to say, I want to hear from you, what that does is that you have created a pool of audience called an engaged audience. Now, I see some brands saying, oh, they want to run SMS campaigns and all of that, but you want to think around a layer called an opt-in layer. And you can sort of create it around your app install strategy, around your sign-up strategy, and all of that strategy. So this is how you should reimagine your marketing funnel. You may want to slide in an opt-in strategy in your marketing funnel. And what that does is that it heightens engagement, it heightens conversion, right? And you can begin to move that lever of active audience or active users and move that lever and move it upward. So that's how we want you to use. We're recommending that you use SMS for acquisition. It'd be great to get questions and thoughts around this as well. And the quality of your opt-in strategy determines the quality of your acquisition, which is sign up, and the quality of your exchange, which is the aha moment and the value exchange you are giving and actual revenue for your brand or for your business. So there are different ways to see opt-in, right? For e-commerce brand, it depends a lot on subscription. In fact, the life wire of an e-commerce brand is sort of thinking around how do I grow my subscriber base and sort of pushing that lever, right? So we can, this webinar is not to deep dive around an opt-in strategy, it's just to begin to create that conversation and create a foundation to begin to have that opt-in. We can stretch it beyond what we have in 2 slides. So another thing is that some brands and businesses said, okay, we don't want to create another layer. We just want to take people to app install. We want to take them people to sign up. But even remember I was talking about an engaged on the audience. Now, so you want to look at your sign up process and say, within my sign up process, I want to actually get people who are interested in listening to me on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and that's what you want. You want to get. So if you got say 100,000 signups, if out of your 100,000 signups you got 2,000 people saying, I want to listen to you, the likelihood that those 2,000 would have a longer lifetime value is higher, right? The likelihood that they would make a first purchase is higher, right? So you want to get that, and you don't want to be loose. Christiana was talking about creating emotion, that feelings matter. So you want to not, so what I see some brands do is, subscribe and get to our email and newsletter. Like that lacks a level of emotion. So you want to create a communication that is given or that is connecting, right? And you want to 10 weekly tips on how to grow wealth. It can differ from brand to brand, but you want to, in your sign-up process, create that as well. Even in your app install process, you can work with brands like AppFlyer to stagger the layer, because it's possible that people do app installs and they don't sign up. You want to collect data that matters, right? Say if one single data that matters, and my recommendation will be phone number. So you break that journey and say, okay, give me your phone number, to achieve this. Then once they are done, it sort of moves them to the landing page where they install the app, so that in the event that app install doesn't happen, you can attribute to say, this customer, has there been any registration? If there's no registration, is an engaged customer. He actually gave a consent for us to do this. Let's engage him and push him further, right? So you can do that with SMS as well. Now, I actually put data from it that we were working with one of a very big retail brand, and they do a lot of offline activation, right? But one of the things they were not doing is that in their offline activation, they were not collecting data. And connecting data with consent is actually very important. So you can see that, I have a place where okay, even though you are collecting my data offline, if you're successfully collecting my data, you can, use that to sort of re-engage the customer and sort of get them to do the first transaction with you. I know a brand that does it so well, even though they are not doing the content model, but I know that it's working for them. It's Domino Pizza, right? If you have an opt-in strategy around all your touch points for your customers, and you are collecting this data, and you are collecting content as well, a content strategy as well, it's meaningful in your own marketing funnel, very meaningful, and sort of creates the game changer for you. So I'll just quickly talk about tips on how to get 3x your revenue, because this webinar is about tripling your ROI. Is that when customers renew more than 3 times, that's 3 times the ROI, right? Because your awareness just is pushing towards the first transaction, and what the customer is contributing in terms of revenue to the business is just 1. But if you want customer to contribute to your revenue pipeline, and you want them to do it 3 times, you want them to do it 5 times or 100 times, right? And that's 10x. Now, the more you are creating a strategy around increasing the level of renewals and repeat purchase, the more you reduce your cost on awareness. I'll just share some tips. So one of the tips is that create a strategy that grows your opt-in list, right? You want to always think around the opt-in list, because what we see is that every opt-in list has a likelihood of conversion into sign-up in the first application, 10% of that list. So if I grow my list to 2,000 this month, 10% of that list will become my customer, right? If I grow it next month to 20,000, I'm talking about your opt-in. Remember, your opt-in is your engaged audience, even though they are sign-up users or non-sign-up users. So your goal is that your active engagement with them and meaningful engagement with them will sort of lead to that level of conversion. So you want to think around that. Tip 2 is segment your customers, right? It's always advisable to send custom messages to different customer buckets. If you send the same message to the same customer bucket, so what we see brands do is that same message sent to everybody, they'll be fine, right? The problem with that is that you will reduce the opportunity for engagement, right? So you want to move different customers and speak to the messaging to that context, right? So think around that. And as a business, we're advising brands to think around speaking to the customer when they want to hear from you, speaking to the customer on where they are within your business. So you want to also think around, we've seen very great results around Google RCS. And what we are saying is that all the messages that have been sent through this channel, the minimum open rate we've seen is 50% open rate. And what that means is that you can really advance this channel to create visual context to your communication and heighten the result that we see on your campaigns. Okay, so we advise that you track. Trackability allows you to optimize, allows you to learn, and allows you to retarget. And part of what we have around Traxen as well. So we want you to do that, is that which customers are doing well with my messaging, and how do I optimize for better outcomes. Avoid spamming. We advise that you send messages a minimum of 4 times a month, right? So that you don't experience what we call message fatigue. Christina has already spoken to this idea of how you can sort of create content that drives behavior, that drives action, right? So we sharing the slides. She spoke a lot around how you can tactically do it, but just to mention that this is important, you need to treat SMS as a channel, the same way you treat other channels. It's not a channel that you just say, okay, let us do a blast. It's a channel that has to be thought through in a strategic manner to give you the results that you need. I will speak to this is the last slide, is more possibilities with integration. So currently as a business, we have integration with Thank You Cash and WooCommerce. Thank You Cash is a retail OS for a number of retail stores in Nigeria and outside the country as well. But the partnership is very useful because they have more context, retail context than we do. And if if you buy an Ebano, for example, and someone buys a diapers, right? We are able to learn and say this person will exhaust those diapers, and sending a message that is more emotive, or someone buys, different products, right? So they have more retail context that, based on the behavior of the customer, can send timely messages and with better personalization. Um, CleverTap and Hotspot are CRM tools that also has large context about the customer. And with more data points, you are able, remember, sending messages to customers where they are within your business, the stage they are within your business or within the funnel, or based on their behavior at the time when they need it, really heighten the level of conversion. I'll speak very quickly to how we see how payment channels work. One of the things that we try to advise our brand is to shorten the renewal journey. Now we see businesses who are trying to say a loan app, so you want them to reorder loans, you want them to reorder subscription for pay TV, and we see that what is going on is that you are leading them straight to a landing page, or you are leading them straight to your platform. One of the things is that you want to collect money, you want to collect what is valuable. You can create a checkout experience that takes them straight. So you can use the phone number context, which is unique to that customer, and use that context to get his renewal data and give them maybe incentives around that and lead them straight to payment. So you want to think around that and using SMS as a channel to create that trigger, spontaneous trigger, and move them closer to the end of the journey. Deep linking with AppFlyer to sort of learn about the customer journey and send timely messages based on that journey. Some of these integrations, we have full-fledged integration with ThankYou and WooCommerce. Some integrations are still in the pipeline, but we can accelerate it if you currently have this platforms you're using, and we can work with them to sort of achieve the results that you want to get. Yeah, it's been great talking here. I'm done with my slides. We would go straight to Q&A. Christina, you want to anchor this? If you have questions, if you have feedback, if you want, to see how you can sort of deploy the thoughts that we've shared in a more meaningful way, we're happy and on standby to support you. Thank you very much. You can unmute your mic if you want to ask a question. You can type in the chat box, and we'll be happy to take your questions.
Thank you, Taiwo. If you have questions, you can just drop it in the chat room, or you can unmute your mic, and we'll be willing to answer. No question yet. Okay. Yeah, for the record is definitely, we'll be sending it to your email addresses. Definitely you get the full slide and then the full recording. If you have any questions, we'll also include an email that you can ask your questions and all of that. Maybe you want us to look at your marketing plan, your marketing strategy, and how SMS can fit into it. We are willing to look at that for you. Question.
Amazing. I mean, we're happy to take more questions. So if nobody has any question, we'll just go. So feel free to request a demo.
There's a question, Taiwo.
Okay.
Is there any competition with TrackSend? Can you give context to this question? Or do you mean that is there any other SMS automation platform like TrackSend? Oh, yes, there are. Obviously, we will not say we are the only one in the market. There are other SMS automation platform in the market, but we've also realized that for TrackSend, not also realized, which is one of the things where we have customers like clients like Sterling, Thank you Cash and most of our platform is what we offer, and the features that you can get using TrackSend. We have been able to explore the Google RCS platform, and it's been getting so many results, and there are other benefits that you have and other features that you might not get with the other platform that TrackSend also offers. If you want to, maybe if you want to compare them, we can just send you our demo. You can request for a demo to go through the TrackSend application. Taiwo, do you
Sounds
want
good.
to also chip in?
You know, you said it all. We can book a session, and yeah, there are competitors in the market, but where we are big on is that we move beyond just sending to driving behavior, the action that you want for your customer. So yeah, that's where we win.
Hope we've been able to answer your question. Yes, we've dropped the contact details. Thank you. Thank you. In the absence of no question, thank you everyone. Tuesdays or Wednesdays are also busy days, and took our time to participate in this webinar, and we sincerely appreciate it. Thank you for taking our time to listen. Again, the slides will be shared, the recordings will also be shared, and if you have questions, if you want us to look at how this SMS can fit into your marketing plan, how you can use it as a more strategic tool, we are willing to do that. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. Thank you, and have a wonderful day and a wonderful week.